everybody, welcome back to another video. As always, if you would hit those subscribe and those like buttons, helps me keep fresh content coming to you. Hey everybody, Jim here with 518 Quality Home Repair. We're out today working on a generator service, and whenever we work on a generator, we always take our sniffer and we always check all the gas connections just to make sure there's no leaks that have gone undetected. Immediately on walking up to this unit, I could smell gas, so I know that there's some sort of problem. So we took out our sniffer here, we started going over our joints, and got this valve here, and automatically we're detecting gas. So take our leak detector here, we can see from the lower portion of the valve right here, we have a gas leak coming out. So before we go ahead and proceed with our generator service, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fix this. And this is on the intake side of the valve, not the output side. So we're actually going to have to shut off the main gas to the house, pop this valve off, we'll clean the joint, we'll put the valve back on, and hopefully everything seals and we'll be good. One of the things we also talked to the customer about when we noticed this, when we walked up, is we have the flex line here. It was actually used to make a 90-degree turn and enter into the generator. That's actually a no-no. When you look at the generator install specs, the flex line is supposed to be horizontal, and it's not supposed to be used to make the connection to the generator. You're supposed to put a nipple in and then connect the nipple to the flex line. And again, that flex line stays horizontal, and the reason for that is you want the flex line to absorb the vibration of the generator when it's running. Again, that's not supposed to be bent to make the connection. Think of drinking through a bent straw. If that straw is straight, you're going to get even flow. If you bend that straw, it's going to be harder to pull fluid through. Same thing with the gas. You're actually kind of starving the generator for the gas with this because it's reducing the flow. So when we get this apart, we're also going to go ahead and repipe this and fix that for the customer. So here we have our main gas meter. You can see this thing's really pumping because it's got a pool heater going on right now. This is our main shutoff valve. We're just going to take this, turn that 90 degrees so that this vertical part of the valve is horizontal. So one of the things I did forget to mention when I was doing the intro is the other reason I need to repipe this is because this pipe, the way it's angled in with this 90 right here to the generator, you can't get this side access panel off. The way it is now, it is physically impossible to get this off. I already tried. And that is really not an option. We need to be able to access this for a couple reasons. To service it, I definitely need to get into the battery, not only to test it, but I can tell just by looking at it from the outside that there's corrosion in there. So I'm going to have to take the terminals apart and treat them for corrosion. We've got a wasp flying in here right now. That's fantastic. The other reason I need to get in there is to get this flex line out from the gas valve to be able to wrench that off. The way this is in there now, I'm guessing they probably just turned it in from the outside. That's probably how they got it in initially. I don't want to go just reefing on that from the outside because it's undue stress on this flex line. And if this starts leaking, that's a problem because now we have to order that new part. And now the customer's down a generator. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to repipe this, we're going to fix the valve, we're going to reseat that on there, get that nice and secure, and then I'm going to take out this junction here and just bring it over and then 90 it this way. Keeping an eye on that wasp. Go away. Occupational hazard, I guess. So as we're working here, you certainly don't want to fault the plumber who initially did this. Gas leaks happen. You think you have the valve on there tight enough. It seems like you have good piped up on there. Seems like you have good thread lock on there, and then it goes ahead and it starts leaking on you. It happens, And a lot of times, go away, bee. Alright, hopefully the bee's gone. Alright, so going back to, can't remember where I was before I had to go away with the bee that has an infatuation with me. You don't want to fault the plumber that did this. It probably wasn't a generator guy or girl. It's not necessarily an intentional thing on their end. It's just something, if they're not familiar with generators, they don't know that process. They don't know if the generator tells you you have to put a nipple in here and then get this horizontal to the nipple. They don't know that this access panel has to come off for service type thing. I don't know if you guys just saw that. I should have tried to take it off by hand first just to see how loose it actually was. But I barely touched my wrench to this. I was actually just sizing it to the threads and it already started turning on me. So let's see how many turns of engagement we actually have here. There's 1, there's 2, 3. That was like right around 3 threads of engagement. You can actually see that there in the valve. Would like to see that. Generally the rule of thumb is 3 threads of engagement, you're good. I would like to see that down there a little bit more. So we'll just take care of that right now. Use our wire brush and clean this off. Because we had a leak here, I just want to start as good a surface as possible here. So we'll just hit this with some degreaser, clean all the stuff off with our wire brush. We'll hit this with some tape. I like to do, the rule of thumb is 3 wraps. I like to go 3.5 just to make sure, just for times like this, to make sure we don't get leaks. Oh. It's not a bee, that's a yellow jacket. I really don't want to get stung by the frickin' thing. So going back to where I was there, the rule of thumb, generally 3 wraps on your Teflon tape. I'm not sponsored by them. I've really been liking this Blue Monster stuff. And then the Meglock pipe dope is kind of my go-to. Blue Monster makes a pipe dope too. Kind of curious to try that. Probably hit that up once this can runs dry. But rule 3 is you want 3 wraps on your tape, and then you want at least 3 threads of engagement. I will generally go beyond that. And when I say 3 threads of engagement, you want 3 full turns, so you have 3 threads between your pipe and your valve, or your fitting, that are in contact. And in theory, that should absolve any leaks. I like to go a little bit beyond that, especially when you have the bigger pipes like this, like the 1-inch and stuff. I kind of go by feel. Once I feel it getting snug, I generally just, after doing it for a while, you get a feel for what's tight and what's not. I always like to do Teflon tape and pipe dope together. A lot of guys swear by just tape, a lot of guys swear by just dope. I find the combination of both of them together gives me the best seals. And I'm very hesitant to make this statement while I still have open piping here. But doing that combination together, very rarely do I get a leak. And having both those together really is kind of the best of both worlds, because your tape does the sealing. Let me get one more turn on that. I want to try and orient this valve so it's on this side of the pipe. So you're doing that combination of the dope and the tape. The tape does an excellent job sealing, as does the pipe dope, but the pipe dope is in liquid form, so it fills in all those little imperfections in the pipe and in the fitting. He's back. My valve's on there. I'm out of here. Now what I want to do is I just kind of want to reset our 90 on here so that it's facing that way. But I'm going to take it all the way off, retape and dope, because any time that you adjust, technically in theory, I can crank that down and reorient it that way. But once we have your pipe dope and your tape, if you use it, that stuff all kind of dries and locks in together and forms a seal. Where's my wire brush? So if you disturb that, you run the risk of disturbing the seal in the joint. So it takes about an extra minute and a half to reset it when I'm not talking to the camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and redo that and play it safe. If I wasn't using tape, I would go a little heavier on the pipe dope here. I just want a light layer on there, just enough to add with our sealing, and just enough to fill in those little imperfections in the pipe and in the fitting. He's back. Loves me. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold my pliers on here as I wrench this on to stop this from moving. So I'm going to kind of create back pressure here. So as I'm wrenching this on, I don't take this spot right here, this joint, and disturb that and cause a leak. Just going to go ahead and turn the main gas back on and check this for leaks. The customer's got a pool party later and he's got his pool heater running, so he can't do that if I have the gas shut off. So just going to try and get that back on for him so he can get his pool up to temp. It's worth noting at this point in the video that it is insanely hot out today. I think it was upwards of 95 to 100. So if you see me sweating more and more and wiping it away from my forehead, that's why. Gonna kind of dry fit all this together here. Make sure my nipple lengths look good and all that. So you see here in this segment, I did make some micro adjustments of the location of the generator just to make the pipes line up. That was a lot of fun in this heat. The other thing you will see is the pipe is already starting to show some signs of corrosion. Whenever you have black iron pipe exposed to the elements outside, you want to treat that with some sort of corrosion inhibitive paint. My preference is Rust-Oleum, but whatever you use, just something to stop that rust from forming on the outside of the pipe. In this case here, I discussed that with the customer beforehand. I gave them the option of me doing it versus them. They elected to do it themselves. At the end of the day, what's important is that it gets done. So normally when you're going into an appliance like a furnace or a water heater or something, the nipple that actually goes into the appliance, and this part here is referred to as the nipple, you generally don't want to use Teflon tape on that. Because Teflon tape tend to have a little bit of debris in it, and what can happen if some of that breaks off, then that's going to go into your appliance. But on these Generacs, they actually have a built-in debris trap inside at the port where this goes in. So that's going to take care of any of that debris that goes in. So I'd rather have a better seal inside. It's sometimes harder to see what's going on in there. It's harder to check for leaks. You got to rely on the sniffer. So I'd always rather have something that's going to give it just a little bit of a better seal. Put some back pressure on this 90 here so that I'm not reefing too hard on my gas valve inside. Alright everybody, so we're back, got a new battery in the camera, have our piping all set, we got our sniffer ready to go, and that wasp hasn't been back for about 10 minutes, so that's a good thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fire this on, and we're going to just check for no leaks. First I'm going to use the sniffer, then I'll use my leak solution, just to make sure we're all good here because we're working on the piping. So one other thing I did quick was I threw on my manometer into the gas port here. That's going to measure the gas pressure. So I can hear the gas meter going. He's got the pool heater running. I can see the dial on that thing going like crazy. I'm just going to fire up the generator and just see what the gas looks like with our pressure, just to give the customer peace of mind that they can run their pool heater and the generator at the same time. Those suck a lot of gas. So if both those work at the same time, we got good flow on the meter and through our piping here. So let's go ahead and put this live. Alright, so right now we're reading about, around 6.25 inches of water column on that with the pool heater running before the generator's running. That's our inlet pressure. So we'll just go ahead, we'll start this up quick and we'll just see how that goes. Ideally we want 7 inches of water column in there to start with the pool heater running. I'm not surprised that's a little lower. Let's fire this up. We want that range of between 5 to 7 inches of water column for efficient operation here. So let's see if we got that. All right, good deal. So we'll move on with our service here. First thing I want to hit before anything else is I want to clean this battery. So you can see that we got some corrosion there in the battery. That's one of the things I was talking about, why I needed that panel off. So first thing I do is I'm going to hit that with some cleaner, let the cleaner sit for a little bit, and then we'll move on with our service. So I really like these NOCO products. Again, not sponsored by them at all. For my battery cleaning and protection, when we're done here, once I get all these cleaned off, we'll go ahead and spray this with a corrosion inhibitor. But when you spray this, it actually turns that red-pink color on contact with the acid that's caused by the corrosion. So we'll just give that 2 to 4 minutes to neutralize the acid. We'll take this apart, we'll clean everything off, we'll check our battery, then we'll treat that for the corrosion. So we're in a shady spot here. I'm not sure how well this is showing up. But we have our battery treated. We got all that corrosion cleaned off. We're just going to go ahead and do a battery test here. Good battery. Go ahead and take our manometer out. Put our plug back in. Turn the gas back on. Sniff for any leaks. I think we're going to be good. We got our battery set. We'll go ahead, we'll do the rest of our service. We'll get the oil changed, check our valve adjustment, check all of our voltage, our frequency, all the other little things we do to make sure we're in tip-top shape here. We'll move on. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you wouldn't mind hitting those like and subscribe buttons for me, helps me keep fresh content coming to you. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments and I'll do what I can to answer. Bye.